Okay, can I just have a thumbs up if somebody can see my screen? Yeah, brilliant. All right, good stuff. So thank you for joining this webinar. My name is Luc. I lead up the UK operations here at DevRev, and we're lucky to be joined by Shashank. Shashank is DevRev's product lead for our agentic platform. He works with some of our biggest customers globally to help really push the boundaries of what's possible in when it comes to AI agents. And within businesses like yours as well, and really showcase what can be done from a conversational perspective for customers, but also from an agent perspective in the backend. So we've given Shashank a big challenge today to build an AI agent live within 20 minutes. So Shashank, do you feel ready for that?
Yeah, let's do this and see.
All right.
Hope it works.
Brilliant, good stuff. All right, so just before we get going and I hand over to Shashank, I just wanted to kind of run you through a couple of slides. The first one was going to be an overview of DevRev, where we come from, the inception of the company, what we're trying to achieve. And then we'll look at why AI agents are so important in the age of artificial intelligence, agentic AI, why they can make a real difference to the business, both from a customer perspective and in the back end, what outcomes we're seeing with some of our customers in the market. And then I'll hand it over to you to ask potential questions and to give us some of the initiatives that you're driving internally with agentic AI before handing over to Shashank. And then we'll wrap it up with a quick Q&A.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So a little bit about DevRev. So DevRev is conversational AI at work, okay? I want us to think of DevRev. DevRev does to the enterprise data what ChatGPT does to the World Wide Web. And there's a big connection between the two organizations. The two gentlemen on the screen here are our founders, and Dheeraj and Manoj met with Vinod Khosla, who is the founder of Khosla Ventures, and also the first investor and biggest investor in OpenAI, okay? And they introduced Vinod and Manoj, they introduced Dheeraj and Manoj to the GPT technology about 5 years ago, so 2.5 years before you and I started using it on a day-to-day basis. And that was really kind of an enlightenment moment for these guys. And they quickly recognized that actually the biggest opportunity within the enterprise is the unification of a tech stack and the accessibility of data across the board. So they went and raised 150 million. And that money was really spent on building a data ingestion platform because those AI agents, they're particularly powerful when data is accessible, okay? So if I show you from an architectural point of view what the DevRev architecture looks like, is we're really trying to unify the structured and unstructured data, powering the most context-rich conversational AI experience, like the ones that we've come to experience in our sort of day-to-day life with ChatGPT, with Gemini, with Claude, etc. But that works on top of your company data. So we deploy our airdrop functionality, which is that data integration engine that I talked about. We pull in that data from the third-party sources. That enriches the knowledge graph, which also contains the knowledge from your internal databases. These can lie in Confluence, they can lie in your Google Drives, SharePoint, etc. So we combine the internal knowledge and the third-party systems knowledge to really fuel the deployment of those AI agents. And today we'll focus specifically on the deployment of AI agents, but you can see at the top, there's a whole lot more that we can do, and applications from a support perspective, from a product management perspective, from a CRM that we can do. But today we'll focus primarily on the deployment of AI agents. Okay, so what exactly are agents good at solving? And what's important to highlight is that agents can be visible, but also can work in the background to provide insights. So what we're seeing from our customers is that first and foremost, agents are really good at deflecting repetitive queries from customers. So how can we take those kind of L0, L1 queries and deflect as much as possible, allowing our customers to really navigate through the amount of knowledge that we have, that we push to our customers, and provide that to them in a conversational manner, okay? And help them really resolve those queries without support from our agents, because this is our time, this is our resources. So if we can get them to deflect this is helpful both from a customer experience perspective, but also it saves us time. And then we've got, for your customer support teams internally, how can we help all of those different teams that are supporting either the product or the customer, right? And everyone on this webinar is under pressure to deliver return on investment and scale their specific operation. But talent is usually wasted on manual repetitive tasks. So agents can be really good at automating those low value tasks and really freeing up the time for your employees, okay? And that knowledge is often really spread out in organizations. The knowledge that support agents need to get access to be able to solve customer queries or to build products. And the idea is, how can we bring that onto a conversational platform so that they can query this data and this knowledge as quickly as possible and efficiently? So bring those insights to the AI agents. And the third piece is around product and engineering. And really that journey that connects the dots between what your customers are telling you to how does that impact your roadmap? How does that impact the products that you release? So if we have, for example, 50 customers that are reporting a specific issue, how do we cluster that into a specific theme that we can then push to the product team, so that from a operational perspective, we hear what our customers are telling us, and that really impacts our bottom line and impacts the products that we release. So these are the three kind of key areas where we see agents being really, really efficient. And I'm not going to steal Shashank's thunder, but I just wanted to kind of run you through how easy it is. It's all low code, no code. You write a prompt, instructions like you would give to a person, and then you assign some skills to that agent, and finally you assign knowledge that comes from your knowledge graph. And this is as simple as that. And you can see on the right hand side here what the deployment of that agent looks like. And really it's that context-rich data that allows you to be able to deflect as much as possible. Not only those level 1, level 2 queries, but assign more skills to that agent to be able to deflect more. And we work with a fintech organization that was deflecting only 3% of their queries before moving over to DevRev. And within the space of a few months, assigning the right data to that agent and the right skills, knowledge, we're able to deflect up to 80%. And that means huge savings for them in terms of their contact center and support operations. Okay, so that's more from a customer perspective, but from an internal perspective, how can we unify the data for those agents? How can we bring all of those silos of information into something that is insightful, that allows them to make data-driven decisions? So you can see on this slide here, what we've done is we've asked a very simple question, but that queries structured data from Salesforce. You can see here is structured. It brings unstructured data from Slack, and also information from maybe customer success management platform. But more importantly is it understands the relationship between all of those different elements, and then allows you to provide data to the agents to do their job better. So unification of search, smart insights, and then the ability to trigger actions. And that's one of the USPs that DevRev has, is this ability not only to act as the glue of the data that you have, but also push actions back into those third-party systems, create an opportunity in Salesforce, update a ticket in Zendesk, assign an issue in ServiceNow, whatever that may be. So that's quite unique. And really what we're trying to do is get rid of that gap in knowledge search. So Mackenzie was talking about, 25% of time is wasted by employees searching across different silos of informations, logging out of one system, logging back into another system if they know how to use it, or speaking to a colleague just to get access to information. How can we bring that onto something that is searchable, consumable for them? So over to you. I wanted to understand, what are the use cases that you're thinking about in your environment? Is there anybody that wants to jump in? And these, so was there somebody? Sorry? No. Okay. And these use cases, we talked about customer facing, we talked about agent facing. There can be so many different use cases. For example, preparing a QBR as a salesperson. For me personally, it's really, really simple to query the conversational search and just ask, okay, how many tickets do I have in that specific for that specific customer? What are the opportunities that are relating to that customer? What enhancements are they part of, etc. So it allows you to really bring all of that data together and make sense of it. Okay. And AI agents are particularly powerful when the data is accessible and you've really defined those outcomes. And on the other hand, what we're seeing is where AI actually struggles is where there is an element of creativity behind it. There's an element of empathy, that kind of EQ aspect. IQ, they've got it completely nailed down. But that EQ aspect, that gut feeling, that's not something that the AI agent can do. Another issue that we're hearing a lot is where the underlying data is fragmented or low quality. So one of the key things before you look at agentic AI is how do you resolve that data? How do you resolve your data first before you can put that into the agentic platform? So these are the things that need to be looked into before embarking on those kind of initiatives. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Shashank. Shashank will elaborate on the capabilities that you should be looking into when evaluating an agentic platform and show you how it's done. So over to you, Shashank.
Just a minute. My screen is visible, right? Yep, cool. So yeah, so while deploying these agents in production for a number of our customers, few patterns and few, things started to emerge in terms of, to also educate us that what really good looks like when I want some production grade agents working for my customers or for my employees. I mean, even before I go into what are some of the line items that you should look for, and we also personally look for in any agent platform. I also wanted to share, some things that at least I have learned in the last few months is that there is a lot of noise in the industry right now, like what is an agent and what is not, and all that, right? So the agent space is moving fast. New frameworks, new products, new protocols, new philosophies are popping up every other day. And with that naturally comes noise. I mean, in for the past few months, you can see an explosion of LinkedIn posts, Twitter handles where everyone is kind of debating this framework as a real agent framework versus this is not. Whether you want graphs or loops, what type of multi-agent hierarchy people should have. So a lot of these frameworks are thoughtful. A lot of it is, just let's say marketing or performative, and everyone is biased, right? Including us. But here's one thing. While everyone is debating which orchestration model to use, which framework to use, builders are trying to ship developers and people who really want to scale their operations are writing up tools, are creating tools so that they're moving from prototype to production very fast. So and there are just few fundamental things that should be there irrespective of which framework and what you use, right? So asking questions like, is it reliable, is it composable, is it observable, right? Is it like sane to debug? And so these are some of the few core principles like reliability, composability, observability, whether it is sane to debug or not, right, are something very core we should look for across all the frameworks. And these frameworks will come and go. For example, uh, does the platform have the right security permissions so that agents can we can define boundaries of when where agent will act and where not, right? And then that is one of the biggest thing about making sure reliable agents are there on production. And then, we all love ChatGPT, but it becomes 100x better for sure when it is connected to your data. And primarily both, let's say structured and unstructured both, because you have both of these types of data in your enterprise. So that the answers that it is giving is really grounded and useful and not just very generic, right? And the how you do that, how you connect to this data is like also should be very fast and simple, right? You don't want to spend months and even quarters or even spending money on let's say implementers to just stitch all that data together and and make it in a unified format so your agent can understand it better, right? So that is one of the biggest challenges for AI agents these days, because every data is in different format, and how they use it, they can become agent for agent. It can become confusing if the data structures are really different, right? So how do you make sure that data is converged in one format with the same set of annotations, and you do it like, let's say, with just a few clicks, right? How do you do that? And then, of course, it should be easy to debug, and you should be able to see it performance, right? So this is one thing that I have also been, learning a lot with our current customers, is that these systems are not deterministic, right? The edge cases start appearing every other day. These systems are stochastic, so sometimes it may give you an answer with a certain format, the other time it is not. And how do you even track that? And how do you make sure that you focus more on whether you are getting the value from it or not, right? And then how do you even improve the prompts going forward, prompt for your agent day by day, month by month? So does the platform give you that ability to do that, right? uh, like self-learning capabilities, a lot of people talk very high level things here, but even smaller things, right? Even before, let's say, a lot of people talk about fine tuning an agent so it can learn over the day. But even very simple things, right? Does the system out of the box provides you ways to figure out knowledge gaps, and then enrich your knowledge day by day so that agents can in effect learn more better, right? And then we are all parts of the industry is really excited about the autonomous nature of these AI agents, but especially, let's say, in a lot of use cases, and especially in customer support, right? Sometimes you really need very deterministic behavior for the agent, right? Always it needs to do three things in a certain step, right? If you're doing cancellation, you always need to verify and then cancel, not change the sequence of it, right? So how do you make sure that you have the right balance and the platform is giving you those abstraction so that you can define in this area, okay, you can go autonomous in this, and in this scenario there is a lot more structure to it, right? And then of course it your agent should have should know about you and probably your customers, so that it's talking like a personal concierge. It remembers your name and all that, right? And then of course a lot of time uh, you know uh, goes away even during building it, right? So does everyone in your team has the capabilities to create and edit and improve these agents day by day with just very simple tool? So not always you are dependent on your IT team to create agents or improve them or debug them, right? So does the platform gives you these tools for even very naive users, or not so tech savvy users, to create these agents? And for sure, can sometimes it can notify a human if when it fails. Does human in the loop is there, right? So these are some things, some pointers that we feel is very important in any agent platform, and if it is there, then only it becomes good. And look, and we are also learning, and we are also trying our best to make sure that the things that we feel makes the agent platform really great, we are also incorporating them in our platform. And of course, it's evolving. So now I will, try to dig deeper and get our hand dirty in, let's say, creating a customer support agent from scratch, and let's see how we can do it, right? So I will not go into all the different aspects of our product. It has really varied places, but there's this place where you can come in and start, let's say, creating an agent, right? So let's start from scratch, and you just want to give it a name. I will do it customer support agent, and just in very simple natural language, I will try to give it its goal. Think of it like it's life's existent of this person. So what it should optimize for. So I will say you are an expert in managing customer queries and helping them. So let's say create an agent. So now you're seeing some very basic and simple to understand core components of a particular AI agent. And these are, hey, what should be the instructions? How you want your AI agent to perform and talk, right? Think of it like an SOP, right? So the kind of a procedure doc or working doc or an SOP that you give to any new hire, the kind of documentation to work in a particular team, think of it very similar to that. And largely, I had already created a sample prompt for this particular use case. And largely, every prompt for these agents contains what it should do, how it should do, what it should not do. That is also very important. So these key principles and conversation flow in terms of how it should greet, how it should help user identify its problem, right? These are some things that are what and how to do, right? So how to do also means that when you want this agent to call an API or call a action, right? So you can just simply say that, hey, when this happens, create a ticket, and similar to that. So this is the part of how and what, right? And then you should also say about what it should not do, right? So it should not be accusing to the customer, or be always empathetic, adhere to technical accuracy and all that. So how to do, what to do, and what not to do. Largely, these are, some of the key components of a really good prompt. And then, of course, it should be structured. It should be non-conflicting. And I personally use a lot of, ChatGPT and Claude itself to improve my prompts over and over again. And I think soon we'll also bring in those capabilities natively to the product so that prompt improvement can happen inside the product itself. But yeah, this is kind of the meat of AI for your AI agent, right? Now, let's see now what are skills, right? So here, think of it as just, kind of tools or API calls and that you want to give it to your AI agent, right? So I just want, these are like hands and legs for the agent. It enables the AI agent to do something, right? So in this software world, there is basically access to APIs or access to workflows, automation workflows, right? So in this example, let's say I wanted to give and ability to create a ticket for the customer if it needs to, right? So let's see if I could do that. Uh, and let's say create a ticket. There is an action related to that. Let's add it. And this is the name and the description of the ticket. So this is also really important. Uh, this is where you can be more creative, more prescriptive as to and the when the AI agent should call it, right? So the more better description of your this tool is skill is, the more better the LLM instruction adherence and LLM accuracy will increase. So creates a ticket. Let's say when a customer is talking about a problem, right? And then it is asking me what should be the title of the ticket, what should be the body, and all that stuff. So I'll just simply say, hey, title, I would want uh, the agent to figure it out. So that's why auto. Uh, I don't want the part to be really figured out by the AI agent. I don't know if it will have the capability to do that right now. So I will just say, always assign this ticket to a particular part of the product or project, right? I will say the owner should be, let's say, I don't know right now, so unassigned so that afterwards support, routing, ticketing workflow, routing automation can kick off and then route it to the uh, right place. And then what should be the body of the ticket? I also, let's say, uh, want the AI agent to figure it out. And let's save it. And I don't want it to mimic users, credentials. So this is where you will see that the concept of access and permissions is really ingrained to the our platform. So you can define on each action level, tool level, whether it should impersonate a user or not impersonate a user, right? So I'll just now save it. So now we have the AI agent prompt and basically the SOP and then the tools. And now let's also ground this answer, right? So people call it, whether the answer is grounded to your enterprise data or not, right? So I will just go ahead and simply say, hey, this agent should have access to all the articles, support articles, and let's say all the Q&As, FAQs that are there for the support, like, related to customer support. So just by those 1 2 clicks, I gave it all the knowledge of that is there related to articles and basically specific to customer support to it. And this all these wikis and FAQs can easily be imported from various different systems with just a few clicks that are available on our marketplace. And you just have to then enable it for your AI agent. So let's see if now it is even working or not. I'll say hi. Yeah. So it seems at least it is working. And let's say, let's ask it, what are DevRev happens? Yeah. Seems like it is grounded in our, you know, uh, knowledge base. Nice. So I just also want to show you, let's say if I remove the knowledge, it should not, answer this, or probably it will hallucinate. So how, ChatGPT a lot of time does. What does snap-ins? Yeah, probably it should not answer this. Cool. So let's see now. Uh, Give it back the knowledge. Q&A. Knowledge. Now, the last step remains that I want to deploy it to my channels where my customers are, right? So there can be different channels in DevRev. For example, it can be simply a chat widget that we provide, which you can put it in your website with a few lines of code, and or even let's say Slack, or let's say WhatsApp, email, a lot, some of these channels that we already support. So how do you want to, let's say, deploy this agent to your different channels? So for that, we'll use our workflow canvas. So think of it this way, how it is architected, right? So in the world where there were no AI agents, you used to write automations that, hey, when a customer conversation starts, and if it is related to this, route to this human or this human group. So we'll do kind of very similar to that. It's just that we're not routing the conversation to a human, but we will route the conversation to agent, right? So let's say I will say when a conversation is created, and this conversation is basically a customer chat, right? When a customer chat is created, and irrespective of, let's say, any channel, right? I can even create some conditions that, hey, if the channel is WhatsApp, then do this. If a channel is not that, then do other thing. To make our life a little bit easier, I can just say when a conversation is created, directly go and talk to the agent, the AI agent. And here you will see some attributes like the agent that we just created. I can select it, and I will say, hey, agent, start replying to the conversation chat, which gets created. And then the visibility should be external. The panel should be customer chat, and it should respond to reviews, basically, which means customers in DevRev language. And then I will just simply deploy this. Yeah. So of course, now you could see whether if it is running or not, some analytics on top of it, and of course the version history. So let's see if everything is good. This is good. And conversation created. And now let's see let's say if I create a new chat, if something happens, right? Let's see. Hey, agent seems to be talking. Hey, nice. And let's say I ask some question. What is level? Yep. So it is, citing some answers from our knowledge base. And let's say I say create a ticket for me having logging issues. Yep. So it has already created now based on my instructions. So let's see. There is this ticket that I think is just created, and it has pre-filled, the title, description already. So the end customer was not, filling up some forms or anything. So this was a quick demonstration in terms of how exactly you can set up an agent from scratch, and then also give it some action so that it can also automate stuff on behalf of your support agents. So yeah, any questions, Luke or anyone else?
No, that's perfect. Thank you, Shashank. That was very impressive. Um, with that, we'll hang up the call and we'll give you back 20 minutes of your time. Thanks everybody for joining.
Thanks.
Thanks, Shashank.